We know kids with DLD tend to struggle with grammar. By grammar, I'm not talking about old-fashioned stuff like who versus whom. I'm talking about overall sentence structure. At school, passive voice can be challenging for our kids. When they're listening to a story, when the teacher's explaining a concept in a history lesson, or when they're reading a book, they may get mixed up when passive voice is used and misunderstand who is doing the action and who the action is being done to. For example, if the teacher says the Allies were being bombed by the Nazis, the child may understand that the Allies were the ones doing the bombing rather than the ones being bombed in that situation because they didn't understand passive voice and the word order may have confused them. You can see how misunderstanding this type of sentence can make it so difficult to follow the lesson. Other types of complex grammar can also go right over the head of our kids with DLD and also lead to an incorrect understanding of what they have just read or what they've just heard. Or a child with DLD may not even pay attention after the first sentence or two because it's so hard to follow. They may develop a reputation of being a daydreamer, often zoning out, or being unfocused. This can sometimes be because they're truly not understanding some of the vocabulary words and some of the grammar and are feeling exhausted with all the effort required. It can feel easier to disengage and think about something else, especially if that self-regulating inner voice is not very strong. Our kids with DLD tend to also struggle to use complex grammar when speaking or writing, not just trouble understanding it, it's also hard to use it. They may rely on words like and to link ideas over and over again, or use the word then repeatedly when talking about a sequence of events. This can result in our child's language being simplistic and immature when compared with peers. A child with DLD may say the following when asked how to make a sandwich. I got 2 pieces of bread, and then I got butter, and then I spread it on the bread, and then I got the jam, then I spread it on the bread too, and then I put the bread together, and then I ate it. A child of a similar age may use more transition words, complex sentences, and descriptive language, saying something like, when I started to feel hungry, I got the ingredients ready to make my sandwich. First, I spread butter and jam on the bread. After that, I slapped the pieces of bread together, and finally, I took a gigantic bite of my delicious masterpiece. You can see here how the child with DLD's description sounds so basic compared to what a peer might produce. When a child is doing a school assignment, answering a question on a test, or participating in a class discussion, you can see how their DLD can be limiting in how they show what they know. Our kids may also struggle to understand and use words called coordinating conjunctions. Examples of these words include unless, until, although, and while. When students do not understand these words, they may misinterpret information or follow instructions incorrectly. If they do not know how to use these types of words, their expressive language may appear very simplistic and immature, both when speaking and when writing. Another area that is often challenging for kids with DLD is relative clauses, such as the sentence, my sister, who struggles with allergies, is not able to make it tonight. The relative clause, which is who struggles with allergies, it's not essential to the sentence, but it gives extra information that can add to the richness of what is being shared. It is also a more advanced way to combine thoughts. The same message could be conveyed linking the thoughts using and, as if you said, my sister has allergies and she's not able to make it tonight. That's a more simplistic way to convey similar meaning. Using short, simple sentences or linking ideas using the word and is common for our kids with DLD, and therapy is often needed to help them learn to speak and write with more sophisticated grammar. Subordinate clauses are another example. In these types of sentences, a part of the sentence is added that cannot stand alone. For example, one might say, once you finish your homework, we can go to the ice cream shop. Our kids with DLD would be less likely to use subordinating clauses, again, sounding less sophisticated in their speech because they tend to stick to simple sentence structures. There's a handout for this next sub-lesson that will help you work on these types of words with your kids, so make sure to check that out soon.